Guys, they have for you insane DPS blue screen setup which gonna annihilate the whole battlefield in couple seconds. Finally, we have a really viable blue screen setup with more than 50% crit chance. On top of that, you're gonna spread status effects like there is no tomorrow. Why? Because in this build we are using exotic wild mask. This mask will basically apply debuff on our status affected enemies, which will last for 10 seconds, and against this debuff there is no protection, so you be really nasty. You can spray and pray apply multiple marks. So as usual, welcome to Insanity, my beautiful bastard. Today, look at this. I'm using as well creeping death on my chest piece. I have trauma. My perfect creeping death in this setup works really well. It has only 10-second cooldown that helps a lot to basically maintain status effects on our enemies non-stop. Boom, I'm spreading those again on Grenadier whilst mask debuff is applied instantly, because with this LMG actually you need to spray and pray. You have to apply as much marks from this LMG as you can to be really effective, because that whilst mask debuff but maybe will not deal tons of damage, but if you can mark 5-6 enemies and kill one, that will add up pretty quickly. On top of that, like I said, we have trauma, which will apply bleed effect and blind effect. Those two effects can be really handy against bosses like this one. At Union Arena you will encounter this boss, and if you will catch him on the reload, you can basically make him glitch out. If one of your teammates will use Scorpio shotgun, boom baby, one is shocking him, second, in this case me, is applying bleed and blind, and meanwhile he will always try to reload his minigun, and basically this is cheese mechanic. He will die really quickly. I mean, you have to shoot his backpack first, but it's really cheesy if you think about that, because he will be locked in this animation non-stop, and there is nothing he can do about that. But before we continue, quick word from the sponsor Thieving.net. If you don't have enough time or good teammates, but you still want to have all the best items in your game, then Thieving.net is set for you. They have absolutely amazing team on consoles. They will complete your order super quick. Everything happens through account sharing. This service has been working for many years. They have tons of customer reviews. You can check everything by yourself. But now with my promo code RBD, you will have 15% discount on absolutely all services. It's an amazing deal, especially when right now they have some crazy sales going on. So definitely check these guys out. But now let's get back to this setup. And it's pretty goddamn off meta if you ask me. I was really strongly considering to use here Catharsis Exotic Mask to receive a little bit more survivability and DPS, but eventually I came back to Wild Mask and I switched some pieces here to fit, I guess, my playstyle more, and I like hybrid builds, you know all that. I really love hybrid builds, so I turned a pure DPS setup into the hybrid build. I have 3/4 skill tiers, and that's the reason why my fixer drone is pretty decent, and assault turret can stay long enough on battlefield for me to distract enemies, and that will allow me, of course, to mark them all, and that will increase my efficiency as a whole. It's really important to understand that your assault turret has actually more health than your decoy, and it will deal, of course, damage as well. So it's absolutely the best skill to use in PvE. For specialization though, I'm using Survivalist. Why Survivalist? We have extra protection from elites, increased repair power. That's really important for survivability reasons. Our medkit will heal not only us but our teammates as well, and we have fire grenades, and you will be able to, of course, spread fire with your creeping death talent. And to stop spawn or new wave it's really handy actually to have fire grenades. If enemies will try to rush you or new wave kicks in, you just throw it on the ground, boom. And it means that enemies will deal more, excuse me, not enemies, but your teammates actually will deal more damage to status affected enemies by using survivalist specialization. If you're a solo player, I would recommend you maybe to use technician specialization to gain one extra skill tier to be a little bit more efficient with your skills. Or if you're playing maybe heroic difficulty, for heroic difficulty I mean you can run play pretty much naked and complete it. That shit is absolutely easy money. For heroic difficulty maybe go with gunner specialization, but for legendary difficulty in team, survivalist is the way to go. For solo legendary runs, maybe technician specialization, then your skills can deal a little bit more damage and be kinda, and those can replace your teammates, so in a sense. And for heroic difficulty, then go with gunner specialization. For the weapons though, I'm using Bluescreen exotic LMG, which also received a new skin or rework, you name it, and now it looks pretty decent actually. Not a bad exotic look, at least for my taste. It looks pretty decent now. As my stats goes, oh my goodness, we have pretty goddamn insane crit chance for LMG setup. Look at that headshot damage and crit damage. Oh boy, barbecue chicken, man. That's pure barbecue chicken. Of course I can't nail all headshots, but maybe you can, and then this build will kick even harder. For chest piece I'm using Cheshka to receive extra headshot damage and crit chance, and for my chest piece talent I'm using Trauma to apply bleed effect and blind effect. Unfortunately this talent has 30-second cooldown, but nevertheless it's more than enough to spread or kick in our first wave with creeping death, so we're gonna spread status effects with creeping death. Afterwards you can kill some enemy and then you will proc blue screen stacks, and blue screen stacks will be counted as status effects as well, so with your blue screen you are triggering Wild's Mask buff. And as third option to apply status effects, of course, you have fire grenades. For holster, I'm using improvised holster because that will allow me to use mod slot, extra mod slot, and there I'm using crit chance. For backpack, I am using a new brand set backpack which was introduced with year 5 with perfect creeping death. It has now 10-second cooldown, and now actually you can put this talent in some decent setups. For gloves, of course, constructor's gloves for damage to armor attribute, LMG damage boost, and knee pads again with skill tier, and improvised knee pads with skill tier. And again I'm allowed now use extra mod, and where I will put extra crit chance, and that's the reason why I have more than 50% crit chance and I can deal tons of weapon damage. I have crazy survivability, crowd control, and utility. Bye!